Well, it's still going on. The most ignorant, arrogant assholes in the world. I tell them all the time, all the people that went to the police knowing, the investigators knowing of the shower scene in the other room, the drug confessions, people not seeing drug confessions and how they know everything's photoshopped, and they went to police and investigators. Okay, the cat's out of the bag. But do they stop making fun of me? No, because they think it's funny killing people because they're sociopath killers. You know, the day that he went into town, we were unloading the truck. There were some boards in it. He acted like he couldn't lift one. I looked at him and I said, "Oh, come on now. I could even lift it." He pulled the board back and went, poof. It broke this tooth and this one right here. It was cracked in so many places. I had to get a crown on it. My mouth was gushing blood. And I'm like, why? And he's so pissed at me for just smartening off to him. He storms off and goes to the store by himself. February 25th, 22. McDonald's on Whipple and corner of Fulton Road. Okay? It should be Fulton. Okay? A man from Ravenna, right? 4 noon. I see him. He's one of the goons. He walks in. I thought, I'm not afraid of you. I walk in behind him. He goes over and he sits with a man where you can see him from the front register. So it's surveillance should have picked him up. He's running his mouth, and then all of a sudden he said, her ex-husband went to a store in Ravenna. Said, I've been trying to get rid of my wife for a while, and nothing I do works. I don't want her anymore. Will you all help me get rid of her? And the people in the store said yes. And it's been the people in the store doing this to her the whole time. Okay? Even though it was them doing this to her, he said some man found out what she lived through and thought it was amazing and wanted to meet her. A guy walks up and says, "Hi, I'm Vito." I'm like, "Hi." They're like, "You're nice." Okay? I'm so pissed I can't think straight. Outside of my one client's on the other side of Canton. It's June 7th. I walk out in the morning. There's a lady walks out of a house that was harassing me across the street. She's like, "Don't say anything to her anymore. All that stuff was them, not her." And they said, "Well, we didn't realize it." Well, we're trying to figure out exactly who's doing this to her. Well, I thought, well, it's retired Judge Pete and his family, his wife, right? Memorial Day weekend, 2019, food counter, a white woman to an African American man. Walmart 62. It should be Saturday morning between 8 and 10:30 in the morning. Where it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in a store in Ravenna when she was having a stomach spell. I had a concussion. And it's for my daughter. They did all this for her. And our family watching her doing this. And for who's Karen's rich boyfriend? But the state of Ohio, who protects her, screaming out for all Walmart to hear. I'm clear to the register and I can hear. I'm just glaring at her. They're getting paid by the state to protect me, and it's them. And she's mocking me. Okay? But it's the Michelle, the Lauren, the heavyset blonde girl with big chest. Her mean parents said they're going to steal everything I have in life, a dark-haired girl. And then the guys in the courthouse helped out because they were judges' kids. And connected, yeah. Retired Judge Pete looks like a little white Santa Claus. He's friends with Ludick up there, Judge Ludick. And they were joking around the back outside my room 9/18/19, the day of my divorce. And they're friends. I told you one of them impersonated a federal officer before I called Will back, Agent Will at the Canton FBI. He looks like the guy at the cooking show. And the next day my head was spinning and the only thing I remembered was the What a Shame guy. They were using amnesia drugs on me where I could have told on that, and I told you the one guy that said he drugged me and told me say stuff at Burlington Coat Factory, February 2nd, 22, looks like the guy that went to Pamer, but younger. It's probably his younger brother. And the heavyset blonde girl was driving his car. It's probably his sister. 1260 Fairlawn was seen with the guy that impersonated a federal officer and the cop that raped me. She's really not funny. She's yelled out illegal surveillance and drug confessions, and I don't know who she is. She's part of it somehow. They have admitted to framing me March 24th, 22, two apartment buildings for me. How is that white man with this dark-haired woman? Some old white man's out there screaming at him for doing it. And my neighbor Amy heard it in the apartment building for me. Second closest defense call came out where they read it out Dave 8/9/21 first thing in the morning for him roofing me. They told the police last year. He defends me on tape. That's where it's rich. But I was getting sick on his drinks. Let's see, they called him a bastard. Even children called him bastard the next Saturday afterwards. Everybody knows I was drugged, photoshopped, and people seeing altered tapes. Some people not seeing drug confessions, other ones seeing shower scene in the other room, May 12, 22, at Bubba's restaurant. A group of men are on the patio. There's a big old camera out there screaming at those guys driving by. We told those boys we found a tape of them admitting it was the shower scene in the other room. Where it's like, the only time I touch myself like that is showering and wash. Walk outside. She figured out what they did. My car's bugged from the protector light case. And they found him saying it. They screaming at him, about 6-8 men. Well, at the Oakland apartment, December 9, 21, 4 p.m., they call him. All the tapes before were them, not her. It's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. December 9, 21, by 1 o'clock, Stark County Hunger Task Force, 9th Street in Canton. A white man, bald, dark eyes, was a security guard there, and the case came out from distributing food. We always knew the tapes before were them, not her, so we never said a word. That goes back to January 25th, 2019, 8:30, 10:30 at night in the legally bugged house. Dave's acting crazy. The cops are at the end of the road. One shows up while I'm crying in my room. The police always knew she was innocent before they were talking about it at the station. Some man was bailing his guy out from a team, said if she's innocent, I'll pay a fine or bail. He said no, the police already knew she was innocent before, and they knew somebody else did something wrong before. Okay? They knew I was drugged and photoshopped, and it was the Beverly Hills 911 bitches of Riven and their sick families, and they weren't going to rat them out because illegal surveillance costs you 3 to 5 years. And then, what is ridiculous? They act like I got charges, and you can't have charges. I've never been questioned with Miranda rights. Never subpoenaed to the prosecutor's office with an attorney. Never had them subpoena me in front of a judge with a court order to weigh out if it's admissible or not, and where there'd be charges put. Never happened. And I was never found guilty or innocent of it. There's nothing. They broke in and they stabbed me with needles and had Dave roofie drinks. It's not legal smeagol. And they said they had made up fake paperwork to make it look official. June of 19, Liberty House Sheriff, Ravenna officers in there. There's a whole group of people, and there's the North Canton Jackson police sitting on Liberty House Sheriff on Hills and Dales Road. The worst thing you ever did wrong, honey, is bend over and probably we can wipe that one out. They only made fun of the back of my knees. My ex-daughter-in-law's friends with Michelle, retired George Pete's daughter, and had the kids make up a big bunch of me games to pretend, and because it was a protective light case, all the police know they lied. Because the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out, and then later on, they're making everything up. They're documenting me games to pretend. Okay? They only made fun of the back of my knees. That's why the cop was laughing. Okay? Well, one of them was on the phone in front of North Canton Jackson police, in front of everybody. You made up a case to watch her before. That's funny. You did what to her? That's funny. She must really like him. I'm like, shut up. You can't make up a case to watch somebody. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life. Failure to notify before initiating and speaking to the other person in a home is abuse and misconduct. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. Who do you report? Anybody for surveillance in your home. Department of Justice, FBI, ICE, local police department, and Department of Justice. It is the Fourth Amendment right to privacy. It's a legal search and seizure. That's why November 24th, 21, I'm at Altman Stack here on Wales Road. A Maslin officer comes in. I'm in here to watch her. There's a Steve and Eric stalking her, and we don't know who they are yet because they have put their name on the illegal surveillance, and they don't know who they are. Well, yeah, I mean, it's funny, after everything they did, nothing's admissible. No, it's not. You can't break in somebody's home and be a pervert. Watch them. Photoshop a shower scene and brag you did it, and where they had bruises, lie you had sodium pentothal, reports that you drugged them up, and then you give Dave roofies just to get me to say something stupid. I have never been questioned. So what do you, I'll be like the investigators, what are you talking about? They have ratted out the boys in the courthouse in front of investigators June 23rd to July 4th of 21 by the Pinot. They're saying that. What are you talking about? She's never hurt anybody. Girls from that are dating the guys in the courthouse. Oh my goodness, boys had to drug her to make her say that stuff. Nobody mentions those tapes. May 25th, Louisville, Wednesday, 6 o'clock in the evening in front of my other client. The church people weren't funny, breaking in before drugging her and telling her to say weirdo stuff. Okay. 1295 Avalon, middle apartment, screamed at him right before that, and several people talked to her about it. 8-9 first thing in the morning, apartment building for me, second close to the fence, ratted out Dave, and then they talked to the police. January 25th, 2019, Department of Disability, in there with another client, and somebody's outside the room and says that she was drugged and told to say it before. They're like, someone needs to help her. Yeah, they do. It's just the Bitchy Diva group and the judge's kid and some sick families and a serial killer named Henry that likes to cut people up. And they like to make money off of it because they're sick serial killers. That's the only thing that's going on. They told Dave March 1st to March 15 or 19, 8 to 10:30 at night. It's a real case of how to get away with murder. And these people like terrorizing victims. That's never even been questioned. What would they do if some idiot came up? We had a coroner watch you. You'd be, what? We got charges on you and you've never talked to anybody? That's crazy. We photoshopped a shower scene in the other room, and where you had a bruise and you were sick one day, we have a sodium pentothal report. Now give over everything you have in life or we'll put you in jail. It's like, serial killer 911, please get these people. That's why the police are like, don't worry about a little thing. What they did was illegal. It's not admissible. It's crazy shit. And it's crazy shit people are going along with it. It's just a group of men doing crimes. Ed at the Oakland apartment told the older African American man before Christmas. And he's like, it's not funny what's going on down here. He's like, I know. He's like, someone had told me all the tapes before were them, not her. It's just a bunch of men doing crimes. And he knew of he said, and I told him that, and they said they already talked to the guy at the Hunger Task Force, and he said the same thing. Okay. And I told you about Papa's Restaurant, May 12th, 22. Noon, a group of them standing on the patio with a big old camera. We found a tape of those boys admitting it was a shower scene in the other room. None of this is funny. May 26th, KFC in Middleton. Around noon, I go in, I use the bathroom, I come out and I order food, and some guy comes in. The attorney had it set up so it looked like she was weird with herself, and they can't use it because some idiot man told on them. Well, it was more than one man with integrity, and like that guy from Ravenna said, he was sick of it. He is sick of it. Everybody's sick of it, except for these low-life assholes that like to drive by, scream and stuff, and terrorize victims. Well, how do they explain that to their children? It's okay to kill her. There's judges' daughters involved, and we're getting paid to be assassins, so it's okay. They raped her because she tried to help somebody who said their husband died, and they put it on the internet, so that's okay too because it's for judges' daughters. The undercover police helped frame her and Photoshop her and drug her up. It's okay because it's for the judge's daughters up there and the sick people in Ravenna that are related to them. No, it's not. 5 judges framed and raped 41 lives before they were stopped. They got 6 to 20 years. 139, including federal judges, refused to excuse themselves over cases for friends and family. They got 1 to 10 or up to $1 million fine. They don't play with judges breaking laws. The regular police in Ravenna is hi, sweetie. Nobody says a word. Went to the prosecutor's office on Dave. Never mentioned a word. Sheriff's, when I reported Dave, never mentioned a word. You know what's something? I went to stat care after that in Massillon. I told the nurse that one cop had raped me. And I have problems from it. And I'm playing the tapes from the case. And I go to leave and security's got their back to me. And they're talking to the nurse. What on earth? We knew those officers were supposed to follow her around protecting her. And it was them. We called up and told them they better take care of this. And they said she already reported it and one team refused. And another team is demanding their surveillance. Any officer can get it. It's Karen around the house state case. Will at the can FBI put me in protected light custody for the police to protect me. An informant for the FBI. No, they weren't supposed to abuse me. They weren't getting paid to abuse me. They were getting paid to protect. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. And then helping out in crimes, and the other ones not correcting them, they all can go to jail. Because if you know a cop's a rapist, then you have to arrest him. You know a cop's a drugger, you have to arrest him. You know that they're stalking people in their home, you have to arrest them. And then they're trying to help out for the judge's kid. They got life in prison, and they sold the police login to protected light custody at home to regular people before Christmas of 18. So it's common knowledge. It's horrifying. People have all this horror for personal enjoyment and act like it's a TV show when they're really hurting people. Yeah. None of this is funny. Somebody needs to help me.